Hey everyone, so it is early September, which means we have about a month and a half left in the growing season, and so that seems like the perfect time to add some more annuals to the garden. So I recently visited an internet garden friend in real life. He has the most amazing garden I've ever seen in Chicago, but probably anywhere. I'll try to link his Instagram so you can go and check it out for yourself. But he had a lot of extra plants that he decided to give to me for free, so of course I'm going to use them in the garden. So let me show you what I've got. So here's what we're looking at for plants. So a lot of trailing plants, a lot of this deep purple color, which I really like, a couple that are this neon green. So this is what I'm going to figure out where to add. Probably the majority is going to go in the raised beds, but I'll quickly show you the specific varieties of the plants. So I pulled some of the tags. So we have Sweet Caroline Bewitched After Midnight. Let's see, we got Illusion Emerald Lace, Ipomoea, I'm sure that's not pronounced correctly, Blackie, and then a sweet potato vine called Sidekick Heart Black. Okay, so I guess Ipomoea is the technical name of sweet potato vine. So that's what we're working with. This is the sweet potato vine right here. I think this one might be my favorite just because of the heart-shaped leaves, but these are the very similar color, a little bit more, I'd say, red than the deep purple of the sweet potato, and then like I mentioned, we got some lime green stuff going on here. So let's go figure out where we're going to put these in the garden. Okay, here's what I've got going so far. So I'm kind of alternating between green and purple over here, and then doing the same thing over here. Now this side, I feel like looks like there's a bit more empty space than there was over there. So while there's only 2 plants in there, I think I'm gonna add another plant next to these 2. So I'll show you what I've been doing. I mean, nothing that groundbreaking, but basically I'm just digging a hole here in the dirt. And something I thought was interesting, so the gardener I got these from, his gardening philosophy is basically, if you can see dirt, I'm going to put a plant there. So I think that's what I'm going to follow as far as these trailing plants. So I got my hole right there. I'm going to add my regular biotone, especially in here. I feel like the super petunias have probably taken up so much of the nutrients that I definitely need to add more back in. So mixing that around, taking this plant, and I'm always impressed when I can do one-handed planting while holding a camera. And we'll get this covered up and watered in. So I have 3 here now in the front, 1 over on the side. I also did decide to add a 3rd one over here, and this one, the vines are really long and down to the bottom of the deck. So I think I'm gonna try something after I get everything else planted, where I start making the vines kind of trail along the raised bed instead of just hanging straight down. But I want to get everything else planted first, and then I'll go around and fix any of the longer vines that I see. All the plants are now set in place. I haven't actually put the other ones into the ground yet, but I'm thinking, since this bed I accidentally made all pink anyway, and this is just like a super dark pink, I'm going to put these 2 in the corner, and then as they grow I can trail them along the bed here. Let's head over this direction. So in this bed I have 2 of the purple sweet potato vines on the outside, and then I have the neon green plant here in the center, and again I'll kind of trail them along the bed. Then I had 1 more left as I trip over the hose, and so this bed, you can't really see this corner because of the dahlia, so I put one of the longer ones here. I'll plant this and then I'll start to trail this one right now. So I think this one's long enough for me to start to trail. The 2 on the corner I might give a little bit of time before I trail those, and then coming over here I definitely need to fix this one up a bit. So I'll get everything planted and then we'll work on kind of finessing and finagling with the vines themselves. all the trailing plants are now in the ground, and all of them for the most part looked good. The only one I'm a little worried about is this one right here. It didn't have much of a root system, so we'll see if that one grows and flourishes. If not, that's okay. You can't really get that upset when a free plant doesn't make it. I also accidentally knocked off just one gomphrena, but I'll add this to my collection of plants that I'm drying. So that's what this one looks like over here. Coming back around here, this is what the front looks like right now. This one, I did shift this plant over a little bit to the right because there wasn't enough room with the sunflower. Will it bother me it's slightly off center? Probably, but not enough to care that much. And then this one over here that I'm going to start trailing. So let's move on to that portion now where I kind of make this vine, instead of hang straight down, grow along this bed. Now, if you need any proof that I was not a professional gardener, look no further than the fact that I use these clear thumbtacks for a lot of gardening purposes. I actually started using them for a pothos plant inside that I was trailing along the wall, and then I realized that for basically anything with vines on it, these actually work out pretty well. So let me show you what I'm going to do. So my goal, again, is to really get this vine right here to kind of trail that way along the bed, just so it kind of covers the bed a little bit more and looks prettier than just hanging down in one kind of scraggly vine. Now on this bed, if we zoom you in a little bit, there's actually a lip right here because these two boards don't line up completely. I think they did when I first put it together, but probably in the weather things have shifted. So let's see if what I think will work works. I feel like if I go like this and then kind of stick a pin up in the top, that'll help hold the vine down. So this pin, I'm just gonna kind of push right in there. It's not all the way down, but this vine's not heavy, so it doesn't have to be super sturdy. And then place the vine behind it. And there we go. So I think because the thumbtacks have like the thicker, I don't know, head of the pin, that helps to hold the vines in place. So let's go ahead and keep moving on down the rest of this bed. So here's what this looks like right now. I do wish the vine was a little bit thicker or had some more leaves on it, but there is a second vine starting to grow from the base of the plant. So hopefully over the next couple weeks that'll grow and I can also kind of finagle it along here. But to me, at least, that looks a little bit better, adds a little bit more interest than just, again, one long vine hanging down to the deck. And there's my little baby beet seedlings. On a totally unrelated note, I'm still trying to figure out if I'm going to get pumpkins from this or not. The cucumber beetles are on my last nerve. They were eating my dahlias. They've definitely been the reason that I had to pull my melon plants. They're just everywhere and attacking everything. They're even on my zinnias. So it's been a struggle dealing with them, but I just pulled a lot of the dead brown leaves off of here. You can see there's actually in there like spots where there's just no leaves left anymore, but I don't know, fingers crossed some of these turn into little baby pumpkins. And now back to the main point of the video. So the only other vines that I'm going to use the push pins with right now is this sweet potato vine. I think this one I'm going to try to wrap like around this leg, and then this one I'm going to try to make go that direction. So let's see how that turns out. I actually changed my mind and I liked it better with both of these kind of going this way and sweeping around. Again, as the vines get longer, I'll add more push pins, but again, I mean, it's early September. Our last frost date is usually sometime, I'd say around like October 15th to 20th, so that's about a month and a half of growth, so we'll see kind of how much growth we actually get from these vines. So here's one last look at everything now. I am really glad that I got these plants, especially in this front bed here, just because it adds a lot more and kind of makes up for what was missing when I removed the super petunias. But overall, I think it looks really good, and I'm excited to see how much I can get out of it for the rest of the season. Alright, so that is everything for today. I've actually never really used sweet potato vine, I think, ever, so it's nice to get to try out some plants that I normally wouldn't, and I definitely think I'll be incorporating them more next year. This year I had a lot of the super petunias that I was using as trailing plants, but I'd like to get some more trailing plants in the garden next year. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.